side of that game.
What's good, man? This is your guy, Manny, and this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. So we're going to talk starts and sits this week, man. Week 3. Let's get it, man. What's up, man? We got Hawk in the building, man. Hawk is in the building. So we're going to talk starts and sits, man. I know yesterday we had the waiver wire show. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Plenty of football still left to talk, so you guys can, drop your questions in and we can chime in. So I'm going to pull up the app because I'm going to pretty much go off the dome and just talk about some starts and sits. We all know that the Baltimore Ravens play the Detroit Lions this week. That's a juicy matchup all around. Start Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson is going to have his best game yet. He has potential to throw for 300 yards this game. He hasn't thrown for 300 yards any game this season. So he had 235 week 1, and then he had 239 week 2. But I also think that he's going to throw for a lot of yards this week versus the Lions. That's a terrible defense. Also, Tyson Williams, you want to go ahead and start him. Start any player that plays for the Baltimore Ravens. It's going to be a score of like 42-10, something along those lines. So you want to go ahead and fire up Lamar Jackson. Keep an eye out on Amari Cooper. He's dealing with some injuries right now. On paper, the Philadelphia 76ers have – I have to say 76ers. The Philadelphia Eagles have a top-tier defense in terms of pass defense off of a small sample size, off of just 2 games. So the Eagles are giving up the least amount of passing yards in the entire league. But I think Dallas comes out, plays well, and possibly beats the Philadelphia Eagles. So if Amari Cooper plays, look for Amari Cooper to have a huge game versus the Eagles. DJ Chark, he's a guy that's up and down. He's inconsistent. He's Mr. Inconsistent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I got basketball in the brain. I can't wait for basketball season. But DJ Chark, I think he has a great game. Think about it. They're playing the Arizona Cardinals. And the Arizona Cardinals are a team that's going to air the ball out, score. So what this means is the Jags are going to go down like 21-0 or 24-7 or 24-12, at half. So they're going to be passing to come back. So with Laviska Shenault being hurt right now, I think that DJ Chark can be the guy that commands a lot of targets. When you look at the target share for DJ Chark so far, in week 1, he had 12 targets. But he only had 3 receptions out of 12 targets. So I understand why it's so scary to start DJ Chark because we don't know what to expect. And then come week 2, he had 4 targets for only 1 catch, 19 yards. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Breaking news. Well, not quite breaking news, but the Lions are exploring a trade for Jamie Collins. So we'll see where Jamie Collins ends up going. But Jamie Collins is on the move for the Detroit Lions. It seems like the Detroit Lions are going to downsize. They're probably going to trade off a lot of their guys. It's going to get to a point to where the Lions don't have any wins, and they're just selling people to practically tank and get a pick for the next year. So we'll see what happens there. But back to fantasy football. I thought it was some kind of major deal going on. Let's go to Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson has an injury. Yeah, Collins is legit. Let's go Washington for sure. Darrell Henderson, he's dealing with an injury right now, so Sony Michel could be an option. But if Darrell Henderson is healthy, you want to go ahead and start him, even against a Tampa Bay Buccaneer-led defense that's pretty solid. I still think that, you know what? I got more news on Jamie Collins. Sorry. I heard that he was held out of practice today. So that means they're literally about to trade this guy. It said Jamie Collins, who was held out of practice today, has been a subject of trade discussions between the Detroit Lions and other teams. I'm hoping that the Washington football team is able to trade for Jamie Collins, man. I'm praying right now. As they explore. So they're exploring this deal. I think Washington makes sense. Let me go ahead and tweet Washington, please. Washington, please. So what up, man? Chef Dre Bug, man. We just talking some fantasy football, man. We just talking some Washington football on the side. Darren Waller is primed for a big week. He didn't have a good week last week. I think this week is a week that he's going to return back to form. My guy, Michael Brantley, man, appreciate you hopping on the stream. Please like, please subscribe, and please turn on the notification bell. It says, should I trade Claypool for James Robinson? I say yes. You do that deal. James Robinson is going to return to form. James Robinson hasn't been good to start the season, so he's a buy low candidate. And then Claypool is a third wheel on a team that has Deontay Johnson and Juju Smith-Schuster. So yeah, most definitely trade Claypool and get a James Robinson. That's a no-brainer. So yeah, I'm saying Waller, he's primed for a big week. You guys remember week 1, he had 19 targets. Week 2, Darren Waller had 7 targets. So I'm expecting the target share to go up for Darren Waller against Miami. Miami does have a good defense. They are known to be a pass defensive team, but I think that Darren Waller goes crazy. Also, look out for a guy like Henry Ruggs. I think Henry Ruggs might back things up. I think he's going to ascend. I think Henry Ruggs is finally trending in the right direction. Brian Edwards is another guy, but he's more of a possession chain mover. So look out for Henry Ruggs. And, of course, Derek Carr. Fire up Derek Carr. He's becoming a must-start right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, week 1, 435 yards. Week 2, 382 yards. He leads the NFL in yards right now. I'm riding the Derek Carr train until it cools off. He plays Miami this week. Then he plays the Chargers the following week. So I'm going to keep riding with Derek Carr. I have Derek Carr over guys like Tannehill. I have Derek Carr over guys like Herbert even. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm big on Derek Carr this week in all formats. Put him into your lineup. Keon Drake should be a good start versus the Miami Dolphins, but we don't know what's going on with Josh Jacobs right now. We don't know if he's going to play. If Josh Jacobs doesn't play, and if you don't have better options, then okay, you might want to start a Keon Drake. But if you have better options, then you might want to leave him on your bench because at the end of the day, Keon Drake hasn't really had the volume in terms of running the ball. Last week, he rushed the ball 7 times for 9 yards. But in PPR, which he had 6 targets, 5 receptions, 46 yards, that's where he makes his money, and that's from the receiving play. So definitely keep an eye out on that. Like I said, Keon Drake could help, but then again, he could possibly hurt your squad. So it's a toss-up with him. J.D. Mckissick is a guy that I was excited to grab off of waivers. I have him practically across the board. I think that J.D. Mckissick is trending up. J.D. Mckissick goes rather well with Taylor Heineke. So let's say, for example, that the Buffalo Bills offense is back, and let's say that they're beating the Washington football team this week, and let's say they have a sizable lead. In the quick up-tempo game, J.D. Mckissick is perfect for it. Antonio Gibson is there in first and second down, and then you're going to expect a lot of J.D. McKissick play. Sometimes you're going to see McKissick and Gibson out on the floor, out on the field at the same time. Sometimes you're going to see Gibson in the slot. So keep an eye out on that, and then kind of watch the snap count for Adam Humphries, who played well. So McKissick is just another wide receiver playing running back, and he bodes well for PPR format. Let's look at a few other players that I'm interested in this week. Of course, Colin Murray's going off. You got to start Colin Murray in every single format. It's like you can't even argue that. Like, let's look at what he's done the first 2 weeks, man. I'm mad that I didn't draft enough Kyla Murray across the board. 289 yards week 1, 4 touchdowns. Then he ran the ball 5 times for 20 yards and another touchdown. Week 2, he got a little bit pass happy. He had 400 yards passing. He had 3 touchdowns. He did have 2 picks, 2 costly picks, but he ran the ball 5 times for 31 yards and another rushing touchdown. So Kyla Murray right now is the hottest quarterback in the league. Kyla Murray is doing what Josh Allen was doing last year. Of course, you got Mahomes, but, man, Colin Murray he's special right now. He's special right now. Hopefully he doesn't get big hits to kind of knock him out. I like Keenan Allen this week. They're going to be losing by a lot to the Chargers, and he's going to be, one of those guys that's just out there catching passes. Patrick Moore, man, welcome to the stream, man. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. Patrick Moore says, who is better, A.J. Dillon or Madison? bro, as of right now, I'm an A.J. Dillon guy. But as of right now, I would say Alexander Madison. You know why? Dalvin Cook got hurt 2 times on Sunday, and I was thinking, you know what? It's over with. It's over with. And I used my number 1 waiver to go ahead and get a Alexander Madison. So Madison is the guy to have to stash right now because Dalvin Cook, you know what I'm saying? He's big time back. But if Dalvin Cook were to get hurt and you have an Alexander Madison, you're looking at a volume-based running back that can get you RB1 numbers. So Madison is the RB1 based off of who they play on a given week. So I would stash Madison over A.J. Dillon right now. But I do have a lot of A.J. Dillon shares. I am stashing A.J. Dillon and I am stashing Madison. But if I had to pick right now, I go Madison. Man, we got my guy Cornelius Kidwell in the building, man. Appreciate you hopping on the stream. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. Deebo Samuel, he's the hottest wide receiver in the league right now. Like, who knew that Deebo Samuel will be producing like he's producing right now? Obviously, week 1, he had the career high, 9 catches. He also had 189 yards. And a touchdown. But week 2, Deebo Samuel kind of came down to earth. 6 catches, 93 yards is still great. So, look, I love what Deebo Samuel is doing right now. He's also become literally a must start in every format. Appreciate it, man. Love the channel, my dude. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love, man. Miles Sanders versus Dallas. That's a tricky one because Kenneth Gainwell continues to play well. So, Miles Sanders is one of those timeshare type backs, but given the volume, Miles Sanders can do some damage. I expect Miles Sanders to get into the end zone this week versus the Dallas Cowboys, but we'll see what happens there. Chris Carson versus Minnesota. I love that matchup. I think that Chris Carson gets tons and tons of targets this week in the passing game, and I also think that Chris Carson gets a score or 2. You guys saw that last week. Chris Carson had 2 rushing touchdowns, and that's what you love. That's what you love. That's why we drafted Chris Carson, right? We drafted him to be getting touchdowns. He's like literally their main back as long as he stays healthy. He had 13 carries, 31 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. Can't beat that. So, love Chris Carson this week. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I also think that Chris Carson gets involved in the passing game. But we'll see what happens. Russell Wilson is looking for Swain. He's looking for Lockett right now. He's looking for DK Metcalf is not what we thought he would be. I kept telling everybody, man, I know I'm a Washington fan, but I've said Terry McLaurin is the best wide receiver out of that class. It's not even close. You're seeing it this year in a small sample size with A.J. Brown. You're seeing it with DK Metcalf, and then you're seeing it with Terry with less quarterback play. I'm telling you guys right now, you cannot compare DK Metcalf to Terry McLaurin. I get it. DK is a physical specimen, but we see that his hands isn't great. His hands is not great. DK Metcalf's stock is falling right now. Guys like Swain and Lockett are doing more for Russell Wilson. So you can go ahead and buy a DK right now that he's cheap. You can definitely get DK right now that he's cheap. Cornelius says, yeah, Carson's game. Penny's out. Yeah, Penny's out. I never trusted Penny. But if you're looking for a handcuff for Chris Carson, the guy to go ahead and grab right now and stash is Alex Collins. Alex Collins, you saw that long run he had. I think he had like a 25-yard run on Sunday. Alex Collins is that guy. He has some burst. He has some speed. He has some power. So if you're looking for a handcuff for Chris Carson, Alex Collins is the guy. People say DJ Dallas. I say, nah, it's Alex Collins. But back to what I was saying, man. Yeah, DK Metcalf. Let's look at what DK Metcalf has done. Maybe I'm tripping. Week 1, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 60 yards, and a touchdown. On this particular stat that I'm reading right now, I don't see drops. So I don't know. I don't know how he's looking. You play against the Titans who don't really have a good secondary from what we've seen in a small sample size. What did he do versus the Titans? He had 11 targets. Guess how many receptions he had? He had 6 receptions, 53 yards, no touchdown. So you're telling me that DK Metcalf versus the worst pass defense couldn't really do anything? You said you slightly tripping. Okay, I respect that. He says, I'm not giving up on DK Metcalf. I'm not saying to give up on DK Metcalf. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying DK Metcalf is a buy low candidate right now. Like I said, it's a small sample size. We're only going off of 2 weeks. But going off of 2 weeks, I'm just opening up some eyes. Everybody was high on the DK Metcalf train. For where he was drafted, he has not given you that production just yet. So if I'm a guy, I'm out there looking to acquire a DK Metcalf for the low. We're gonna see how things flow. We don't know what's gonna happen with that offense right now. Russell Wilson he's hot, he's cooking, and they say let Russ cook. Right, Russ is gonna find the open man. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is if DK Metcalf was out here, he had 11 targets and only caught 6 of those. Something happened. Either he wasn't dropping passes, either he wasn't running his routes right. Something happened. I got to talk to somebody that's a Titans fan because I didn't watch that game. But off of what I'm seeing, 11 targets for 53 yards, it's not enough. It's only week 3. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. People sell high, people buy low. DK Metcalf will be back. I do have some shares of DK Metcalf. I think he's a phenomenal talent. He's a physical specimen, but he's got to pick it up. Like, how many more weeks can you go with this kind of production? This week he plays Minnesota. He's supposed to be a must start, right? Let's see what he does. If he can't produce versus Minnesota, who is the second worst pass defense in the league, if he can't produce against Minnesota, then something's wrong. Then after week 3, we're going to be saying it's only week 3, right? Then week 4, it gets a little tougher. He plays San Francisco, then the Rams. Guess who's guarding him when he plays the Rams? It's going to be Jaylen Ramsey. I've seen a quote, and I know for a fact that Jaylen Ramsey circled this on his calendar. There was a little like a little session where it was Aaron Donald and DK Metcalf, and they were talking to some guys. They were asking him who was the best wide receiver in the league. DK Metcalf said myself. Then they asked him, do you think that you can do work on Jaylen Ramsey? He said, of course. Something along those lines. If I can find it, I'll share it. But what I'm telling you guys is that it gets tougher playing against San Francisco, the Rams, and Pittsburgh. Hopefully, Watt is back, and then that defense is back to normal. So all I'm saying is if DK Metcalf blows up, who knows? You might be able to sell him for a lot. But like I said, it's only 3 weeks. So let's see what happens. He said he's bigger but stiff version of Tyreek Hill. In some ways, I agree. In some ways, I agree with you. It says, is Kupp a sell high or hold? No, you do not get rid of Kupp. Cooper Kupp is a guy that I've been a big on for the last 3 years. 3 years ago, I drafted him, and that's the year he was a wide receiver 1. Last year, because of quarterback play, people now think, oh man, Cooper Kupp this, Cooper Kupp that. Even the year before that, like 4 years ago, the injury. So people really didn't get to really see or know who Cooper Kupp was until 3 years ago when he broke out, became a wide receiver 1 in terms of stats. And then moving forward, he's still drafted in the 4th, 5th round, right? This season, his stock went down because he didn't do well last year. But I knew with the upgrade in quarterback, he was going to ball out. So Cooper Kupp is definitely a hold. Do not sell Cooper Kupp. Hold. But you can sell high. If you want to sell high, you can sell high, but I would hold Cooper Kupp. I think that Cooper Kupp finishes this year as a top 12 wide receiver in the NFL this season in fantasy football. Yeah, you can definitely pull off a heist. You can definitely pull off a heist right now. I'm telling you, if you were in my league, I'm possibly over buying Cooper Kupp because that's just my guy. I'm just a Cooper Kupp guy, so I would pay. I would pay for a Cooper Kupp. In his PPR, okay, let me see. What up, Kenny, man? Welcome to the stream, man. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. Kenny says, should I trade Mike Williams for DJ Moore? The answer is yes. The easy answer is yes. Everybody's high on Mike Williams right now, but Mike Williams he's been a disappointment. Mike Williams disappoints me every single year, and I don't want to get my hopes up with Mike Williams. So after 2 weeks, I would sell high. We know who DJ Moore is. We know that DJ Moore doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, but guess what, DJ Moore, he gets you yards. He's going to get you 12 to 1,300 yards. He's going to get you about 5 touchdowns, but he's also going to get you over 90 receptions. So I'm rocking with DJ Moore, even though I do not like DJ Moore. It's just something about DJ Moore that I don't like, but he's a phenomenal player. I would definitely trade Mike Williams for DJ Moore without even hesitation. So make that deal. Let's talk Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is playing in a way that we love to see. Last year, Russell Wilson started out kind of hot, right? And he kind of cooled off. But I think this year with the new offensive coordinator, they're allowing Russell Wilson to be what to be who Russell Wilson is, which is a guy that's going to control the entire offense. Week 1, he had 254 yards, 4 touchdowns, right? Then he had tons of touchdowns that went over 40 yards. So if you're in the league where you get 40-yard touchdown bonus, that's amazing. Week 2 versus the lowly Titans, he had 334 yards passing. He had another 2 touchdowns, and then he had those long touchdown bombs. So yeah, Russell Wilson that started out the season pretty amazing. Then he plays Minnesota, man. It's like Russell Wilson is about to destroy again. Then he plays San Francisco the following week, who tends to struggle against quarterbacks. We got Kellen Brown in the building, man. Appreciate you hopping on the stream. Please like, please share, and please subscribe. He's asking Kyler and Gaskin for DK and Mike Williams. I have Herbert as my backup. This is a deal that you do. This is a deal that you do because even though I just talked about Mike Williams, I just said all these things about Mike Williams, but the DK Metcalf upside is too good, especially in a 1-quarterback league. So yeah, you can trade a Colin Murray. I don't believe in Gaskin this year. So it's really Kyla Murray for DK Metcalf and Mike Williams. So you're going to be getting 2 wide receivers, one that you can play right now in Mike Williams that's producing. And in DK, maybe you wait for him to start producing, but the value is just too good to not pull this offer. So yeah, I like Kyla Murray a lot, but at the same time, and I think that Kyla Murray is going to be the number 1 overall quarterback. So who knows, maybe you might be able to get even a better deal for Kyla Murray right now that he's just so hot. But if this is the best deal that you can get, you go ahead and you get DK Metcalf, who I think is going to blow up as the season continues, and then you ride the Mike Williams train now that it's still hot. And then, you have Herbert, so you might have that Mike Williams or Herbert stack. Who knows? Maybe this is another year that Mike Williams gets you 9 to 10 touchdowns. Maybe he gives you 1,000 yards this year. I'm not a Mike Williams guy, but maybe you guys are making me a believer of Mike Williams. So he might be a guy that I go trade for moving forward. Patrick Moore says, I'm in a 10-man keeper league with Allen, Najee, Carson, Ridley, Jefferson, Kupp, Higbee. Sheesh. Man, your bench is Tyson, Davis, Rondell, Javonte, Ayuk. Should I try to upgrade Carson with my bench or just chill? Should I upgrade Carson? I would say chill. I say you have a really nice team. Yes, it's 10-man, so there's tons of stuff out there in free agency. So the beauty about 10-man leagues is that they usually look like this, especially when there's just so much available in free agency. Because in a 10-man league, right, usually we play 12-man, right? So that's 2 other teams that are not here. That means there's still plenty talent out there in free agency. I would say keep this team, keep your core, and just continue to build through the free agency. You're going to see guys like Rondell Moore of the world and the Williams of the world that pop up in free agency. So stay put unless you get a deal that you just can't resist. JC, appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. He said trade Montgomery and Sanders for Jonathan Taylor. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because we don't know what's going on with the Colts, with Carson Wentz. If Carson Wentz is playing, then Jonathan Taylor is explosive and he's nice. But if there's no Carson Wentz, that means you load up the box. You have 8 in the box. So I really don't know how to feel about Jonathan Taylor when the box is stacked. But when you look at what Jonathan Taylor has done, he had a great week 1. Then he kind of fell off in week 2. Was that because Carson was hurt? Was it because of the flow of the game? Honestly, I would keep Montgomery and Sanders as a combo, then trade those 2 guys for Jonathan Taylor. That's just my 2 cents. Kellen says, also, how do you feel about trading for Gibson? I'm going to have a video that explains the whole Antonio Gibson situation and what's happening in Washington right now concerning Antonio Gibson as it pertains to fantasy football. So look out for that video. If you're subscribed and if your notification bell is on, you're going to get that video. But I am going to talk about Gibson right now. Gibson is a buy low candidate. And if you can get Gibson before this weekend, that's going to help you out. This weekend, I feel that the Washington football's defense and running game, both of those entities are going to play well this week. I said it on a podcast that I was on last night for a Buffalo Bills guy. You want to go ahead and buy Gibson now. Gibson is going to blow up, and this is the time to buy him. He's so cheap right now. Owners are just upset with Gibson right now. So you can possibly trade a wide receiver 2 or 3 on your team and get you a Gibson. Maybe even a wide receiver 4 paired with a bench running back might be able to do the trick to get you an Antonio Gibson. But yes, you definitely go ahead and trade for Antonio Gibson right now. I think he still has plenty of upside. And once he starts to score touchdowns, the sky is the limit for Antonio Gibson. All right, Patrick is asking, man, I would love to be a real competitive 12-man league where dudes are scared. I played in a lot of 12-man leagues. Connect with me on social media if you can, and I will definitely put you on the wait list for some of my leagues. I have tons of different leagues. I play a lot of Superflex leagues. I play some IDP leagues, and I think next year I'm going to start a 12-man league for my YouTube channel. So for the guys that support and for the guys that are always commenting when I do fantasy football stuff, I would love to definitely be in the league with you guys so I can kind of see what you guys, are talking about. I love to compete against different people. So I think I'm definitely going to create a league next year for the YouTube channel. Maybe multiple leagues, maybe even a 14 or 16-man league. Let's just make this thing competitive, and it will be a money league to where everybody gets to eat. JC says, will Justin Fields play well or overhyped as a starter? I don't think that Justin Fields plays well this week. He might play better in weeks to come, but this week, I don't think he plays well. I think the Bears play the Browns, right? The Browns, if it's the Browns, that pass rush is going to come after Justin Fields, and they're going to try to break Justin Fields in half. So, look, my opinion, I don't think he's going to look good this week. I don't think they're going to win this week. I think they're going to lose by double digits this week, but you're going to see some nice plays out of Justin Fields. Now, because Justin Fields is playing, watch out for Mooney, watch out for Allen Robinson. I think that those two guys are going to take the next step in terms of a passing offense. Look towards Montgomery and the rest of these other guys, even Damian Williams. He's going to be a guy that's going to be used in that passing game, Cole Kmet. So every offensive skill player for the Chicago Bears gets better because of Justin Fields, but I don't think he plays well enough to get these guys a win this week. And I don't think he's fantasy relevant this week either. But let's see what happens. I could be wrong. Patrick is asking, thanks again, bro. Second time tuning in. What's the stream schedule? So usually on Tuesday nights, let's say around like 9 or 9:30 Central Time is when I do my waiver wire show Tuesday night. So that way you guys can go ahead and put in your claims for Wednesday morning. Then Wednesdays, if I got time like right now during the evening time, I'll do a stream Wednesday. But if not, then I do a stream late Wednesday night. So the schedule pretty much for the Starts and Sits show is either Wednesday afternoon or Thursday night. So you guys be on the lookout for that. And then I'll have like random fantasy videos that I put out. Like I'm going to be putting out one about Antonio Gibson and what's going on. I'm going to be putting out a video on James Robinson, maybe combine the two. There's going to be some running backs that I'm going to talk about that are struggling right now that you can possibly buy low. And, I'll give you like some trade scenarios. So those are just some of the things that I do. So Tuesday nights, 9:30 Central is when I do the waiver wire show. And then the Starts and Sits is I'll probably make that Thursday night around the same time. So that's the stream schedule for the fantasy football segments that I have going on. Appreciate you again, Patrick Moore, man. I appreciate the love. But yeah, man, just wanted to kind of get on here, talk about some Starts and Sits, interact with people, just get some different ideas. That's what it's all about. It's not about knowing everything. You know what I'm saying? It's all about just connecting and just talking. So definitely love it, man. Just thoughts on Kamara. Funny thing is, somebody offered me Godwin and Nick Chubb today for Kamara. I said no. The reason why I say no is for the simple fact that I got somebody stupid that's in the chat. I'll block him later. So the reason I said no on Kamara in terms of trading him away is I think that he's going to blow up. He's going to blow up. Kamara's going to be Kamara. So I love what Kamara's going to do this season. So Kamara for me is I'm holding on. I'm a ride with Kamara the rest of the season. What I do when I do my drafts, right? Last year, for example, I drafted Kamara in the first round. right? Maybe like pick 5 or 6. When it swung back around, I took Travis Kelce. So now I ended up with the number 1 running back and the number 1 tight end, and I kind of just built my team around that. Superflex was able to get my quarterback. So what I'm saying is Kamara is a guy that you build around. Don't get rid of him. Let's see what Jameis Winston does as the season progresses. He's still new. He's still trying to figure out his team. I don't think that Taysom Hill is a better quarterback than Jameis Winston for this offense. So, yeah, I'm big on Kamara. Rock with Kamara. Rock with Kamara. Trade for Kamara if you can. Maybe there's an owner or two out there that's like upset with having Kamara right now. Maybe he's not producing like people want right now. But, yeah, I'm riding with Kamara till the end. For sure. Much love, man. Appreciate you, Patrick. Any other questions before I get off? Probably keep this stream going for the next 10 minutes, and then I'm going to log off. So any other questions I can get to, then I'm going to log off after that if nobody else is saying anything. But please be sure to like, please be sure to subscribe, and please be sure to share. I also have a podcast, Talking Sports with Manny podcast, that's on Apple, Spotify, Google, all over. And also, if you guys want to become a member of the channel, click right there. I think it's right here. Just click the join button, pick a membership. I know that the last membership, there's a group chat to where we can interact. You can ask me questions 24/7. So that chat is available for the last membership. All right, man, we got a question. He said, start Dak or Jaylen on Monday Night Football. Jace, why you gonna do this to me, man? This is a tough question. I have to think who has the weaker defense out of these two. So to me, man, the weaker defense has to be the Dallas Cowboys. They have Micah Parsons playing defensive end. So I'm going to go Jalen Hurts just because he has the rush upside. And with the rush upside, it's greater than any other passing upside that could have. Granted, I do think that the Philadelphia Eagles defense is not as good as people think, but they performed way better than Dallas defense so far. So I'm leaning towards Jalen Hurts, but it's really like a 50-50 to me. But yeah, Jalen Hurts Monday night, I think he has a big game. I think he probably rushes for maybe 2 touchdowns. And he has a connection with his wide receivers. You're seeing guys like Quez Watkins go off. You're seeing guys like Devontae Smith go off. So yes, Jalen Hurts, starting with confidence. So I'll check out the podcast, man. Good for the morning commute. Absolutely, man. I also do NBA stuff. I do fantasy basketball as well. Just sports in general. So appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love. Let me see if I got any more nuggets for you guys before I get off. I talked about Taylor Heineke. I don't know if it was the last show. I don't know which show I did. I talked about Taylor Heineke. He's a good quarterback to have as your second quarterback in a Superflex league or even your third quarterback. So he should be available in some leagues. He might be snatched up in every Superflex league right now. Chase Edmonds is a guy that needs to take that next step. I like him this week versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are terrible. I think that Chase Edmonds has his best week yet versus the Jags. You guys call me out if I'm wrong on this, but I think the Jags are going to be playing from behind, and I think they're going to try to establish the run. We've seen Kyla Murray do some great things passing the ball. I think it's time that they revert to the running game. So Chase Edmonds is a good play. Let me see what else I got for you guys. I got about 5 more minutes, and then I'm logging off here. Jared Goff versus Baltimore. Jared Goff has been good, but I'm not starting him this week versus Baltimore. You can't do that. You can't do that. He's had 2 solid games versus San Francisco and Green Bay in terms of stats and production. But yeah, I'm not starting neither one. I'm not starting Goff this week versus Baltimore. It says, do you like Higbee or Tunyon this week? I think it's time for Higbee to do something. Higbee's going against that tough Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, right? And then Green Bay is playing. I forgot who Green Bay is playing this week. I'll find out who Green Bay is playing in just a minute. So Green Bay is playing San Francisco. I would lean Higbee. I think that San Francisco's defense is good against tight ends. So I would lean Higbee, but it's really a toss-up. It's really about game flow. And, is Devontae Adams getting off? Is, Cooper Kupp and all these different guys getting off? So it's going to be interesting. I think the Rams want to establish Robert Woods more. So Higbee could be a wild card. He can be a sleeper. But if I had to pick between the two, I'll probably go Higbee this week. I think that San Francisco is going to be a tough matchup. So that's something that you really don't want to mess with. Any other questions? Got 3 more minutes. This stream was dope. Appreciate the energy you guys brought today. This was awesome. I love it. Teddy Bridgewater, a guy that's inserviceable. Let's talk about him for a few minutes. He played versus the Giants week 1, had a decent week. Played against the Jacksonville Jaguars, had a decent week. This week he plays the Jets, who surprisingly are good against the pass. Oh, man, my guy Viscount, man, appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. Please like, please share. You know how we do it, man. Jonnu Smith or Jawon Johnson. I see what you did. I talked up Jawon Johnson for week 2, and he was a dud. I apologize. I thought that Jawon Johnson was going to do work. But with Jonnu Smith, man, it's like, what do we really know about Jonnu Smith this year? Like, what do we really know about Mac Jones this year? They kick a lot of field goals. But if I had to pick, because Jawon Johnson scared me. He scared me last week. So I would go Jonnu Smith this week over Jawon Johnson. And then all you can do is wish for the best. I think out of Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, I think Jonnu Smith is the better tight end, the best tight end to own in that tight end group. I'm going to answer this last one, and then I'm out. So I was leaning towards Higbee too, and it's Jonnu Smith droppable. Possibly. Jonnu Smith is droppable if you have 2 really good tight ends. If you have 2 okay tight ends, if you have 3 tight ends in the Jonnu Smith Higbee realm, then you keep all 3, and then you just kind of rotate. Like, I just dropped Hunter Henry today. Like, I was just tired of him. I dropped Hunter Henry and picked up Jack Doyle. Like, tight ends, if you don't have any of the top 7 guys, it's really a toss-up. So, yeah, Jonnu Smith is droppable if you have, 2 other guys like him. There's no need keeping 3 tight ends when you can only start 1. So, most definitely, you don't want to have 3 tight ends on your roster. So, guys, this is my time. This is your guy, Manny. This is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Please like, please subscribe, please share. And I'll catch you guys on the next video or stream. I'll catch you guys later.